She will never admit this to you. But the moment you stopped caring whether she stayed or left, something inside her shifted. The moment you stopped chasing, stopped texting first, stopped waiting for her validation, she felt it, and it terrified her. Because that behavior, that calm indifference, that unshakable self-sufficiency, it is the one thing modern women are biologically wired to respond to. And it is the one thing most men abandon the second they catch feelings. You have been lied to. You were told that being emotionally available, communicative and invested would make you attractive. You were told that showing your feelings and chasing her proved you cared. But every time you did that, she pulled back. Every time you opened up, she lost interest. Every time you made her your priority, she made you her option. And now you are confused, frustrated, questioning what went wrong. So let me ask you something. What if the very thing you were taught makes you attractive is exactly what pushes her away? What if the behavior that builds real attraction is the opposite of everything you have been doing? This is not about being cold. This is not about playing games. This is about understanding a psychological truth that most men will never grasp. And once you understand it, everything changes. There is a reason why the men who seem indifferent get the most attention. There is a reason why the moment you stop chasing, she starts chasing you. There is a reason why emotional self-sufficiency is the most attractive quality you can possess. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly why modern women are terrified of men who do this, and why you should do it more. Let me paint a picture for you. You meet someone. The chemistry is undeniable. The conversations flow. Everything feels right. So you do what you have been taught to do. You text her consistently. You make plans. You show interest. You invest emotionally. You make her feel like she is the center of your world. And at first it works. She responds. She seems interested. But then slowly, things shift. Her replies get shorter. She becomes less available. Plans get cancelled. Excuses pile up. And you start to feel it, that sinking feeling that she is slipping away. So what do? You double down. You text more. You try harder. You reassure her. You ask if everything is okay. You chase. And the more you chase, the faster she runs. You have been there, staring at your phone at 2 in the morning, wondering why she will not text back, wondering if you said something wrong, wondering if you were too much, wondering if you will ever be enough. But here is the truth. It was never about you being enough. It was about you being too available, too eager, too emotionally dependent on her response. Because while you were building your world around her, she was losing respect for you. Not because you are a bad person, not because you did anything wrong, but because you violated a fundamental law of attraction. You showed her that your emotional state depended on her. And the moment a woman sees that, the moment she realizes you need her validation, the attraction dies. This is the painful reality most men refuse to accept. You were taught that showing effort proves love. But in the world of attraction, effort without outcome independence is desperation. And desperation is the fastest way to kill desire. So what is the alternative? What is this behavior that terrifies modern women and builds unstoppable attraction at the same time? It is called emotional self-sufficiency, and it is rooted in one of the oldest and most powerful philosophies ever created, Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That quote is not just ancient wisdom. It is the blueprint for masculine power in relationships. Because the moment you realize that your emotional state does not depend on her response, her behavior, or her validation, you become untouchable. And that is what terrifies her. Not because you are cruel, not because you do not care, but because you are no longer controllable. You are no longer predictable. You are no longer a man who can be manipulated by attention or the withdrawal of it. Let me explain how this works psychologically. Women are not attracted to men who need them. They are attracted to men who choose them. There is a massive difference. Need implies dependency. It implies that without her you are incomplete. It implies that your happiness, your confidence, your emotional stability, all of it hinges on her presence. Choice implies abundance. It implies that you have options. It implies that you are with her because you want to be, not because you are afraid to be alone. And deep down on a biological and psychological level, women are wired to seek men who have options, men who other women want, men who are not desperate, men who are emotionally self-sufficient. This is called pre-selection. and it is one of the most powerful forces in attraction. When a woman sees that you do not need her, when she sees that you are perfectly content with or without her, when she sees that your mission, your purpose, your life does not revolve around her, it triggers something primal. She starts to wonder, why is he not chasing me? Why does he not seem affected? What does he have that makes him so calm? And that curiosity becomes attraction. But here is the catch. You cannot fake this. You cannot pretend to be indifferent while secretly obsessing over her response. She will sense it. Women are incredibly intuitive. They can feel your neediness even when you try to hide it. True emotional self-sufficiency comes from internal work. It comes from building a life so fulfilling, so purpose-driven, so abundant, that no single person has the power to disrupt your peace. And that is where most men fail. They try to use detachment as a tactic, but it only works when it is real. Let me give you an example. There was this guy who spent months talking to a woman he met online. They texted every day, he made her laugh, he was attentive, he was available, but she never committed. She kept him in orbit, just close enough to keep his attention, but never close enough to give him clarity. He would ask to meet up, she would say she was busy, he would suggest plans, she would flake last minute, but she kept texting, kept liking his posts, kept giving him just enough to keep him hoping, and he fell for it, because he wanted it to work, because he invested time, because he convinced himself that if he just stayed patient, she would eventually come around, but she never did, until one day he stopped. He did not block her. He did not send a long message explaining his feelings. He just stopped initiating, stopped being available, stopped waiting for her. And within 2 weeks, she reached out, not with casual small talk, but with urgency, asking why he went quiet, asking if everything was okay. Suddenly, she wanted to meet up. Suddenly, she had time. What changed? He did. The moment he detached from the outcome, the moment he stopped needing her validation, the dynamic flipped. She went from being the one in control to being the one chasing clarity. Now, this does not mean she suddenly became the perfect partner. It does not mean they lived happily ever after. But it proves a point. The moment you stop chasing, the moment you reclaim your power, the dynamic shifts, and that shift is what terrifies women, because it means they no longer have control. It means they can no longer manipulate your emotions with breadcrumbs. It means you are operating from a place of strength, not scarcity. So why does this work? Let me break it down. First, emotional self-sufficiency signals high value. In evolutionary psychology, women are wired to seek men who display traits of genetic and social superiority, confidence, resources, status, emotional stability. When you display neediness, when you chase, when you seek constant validation, you signal low value. You signal that you do not have options. You signal that you are desperate, and desperation repels. But when you are calm, when you are unbothered, when you are focused on your mission regardless of her response, you signal the opposite. You signal that you have abundance, that you have options, that you are a man other people value, and that is attractive. Not because it is manipulative, but because it is honest. You are not pretending to be high value. You are demonstrating it through your behavior. Second, indifference creates space for desire. Attraction thrives in uncertainty. When a woman knows she has you, when she knows you will always be there, when she knows you will always respond, the challenge disappears. And without challenge, there is no tension. Without tension, there is no desire. But when you pull back, when you become less available, when you create space, you reintroduce uncertainty. She starts to wonder, she starts to question, and that questioning reignites attraction. This is not about playing hard to get. This is about genuinely having a life that does not revolve around her. When you have purpose, when you have goals, when you have a mission that matters more than any single person, you naturally become less available, and that natural unavailability is magnetic. Third, detachment eliminates emotional reactivity. One of the biggest mistakes men make is reacting emotionally to female behavior. She does not text back, so you panic. She cancels plans, so you get upset. She tests you, so you defend yourself. Every reaction proves that she has power over you. Every emotional outburst proves that you are not in control. But when you are emotionally self-sufficient, when you practice stoic indifference, you do not react. You observe, you accept, you move forward, And that calm, that unshakable frame is one of the most attractive qualities a man can possess, because it proves that you are not controlled by external circumstances. It proves that you are grounded in something deeper. Let me give you another example. There was someone who started dating a woman he met through mutual friends. Things moved fast. They spent weekends together. They talked about the future. Everything seemed perfect. But then she started testing him. She would take hours to reply. She would mention other guys casually in conversation. She would cancel plans without much explanation. Most men would have reacted. They would have called her out. They would have demanded clarity. They would have gotten emotional. But he did not. He stayed calm. He did not chase. He did not get upset. He simply continued living his life. He went to the gym. He focused on his work. He spent time with friends. He did not make her behavior the center of his emotional world. And within a week her behavior changed. She started initiating more. She stopped mentioning other guys. She became more consistent because she realized that her tests were not working. She realized that he was not like other men. He was not controllable. And that realization shifted the entire dynamic. She went from testing to investing because she saw that he was a man who could not be manipulated, a man who was emotionally grounded, a man who had frame. So what is frame? Frame is your reality. It is your ability to stay grounded in your truth regardless of external pressure. It is your ability to maintain your emotional state regardless of how someone else behaves. When you have frame, you do not get pulled into drama. You do not get sucked into emotional games. You do not lose yourself trying to win someone over. You stay centered. You stay calm. You stay focused on what matters. And that is what makes you dangerous, not in a harmful way, but in a way that makes you immune to manipulation, in a way that makes you a man of value. Now, let me be clear. This is not about being emotionless. This is not about shutting down or being cold. This is about emotional mastery. It is about feeling your emotions without being controlled by them. It is about caring without being needy. It is about investing without being desperate. The Stoics understood this. They did not teach emotional suppression. They taught emotional regulation. They taught that you can feel anger without acting on it. You can feel sadness without being consumed by it. You can feel desire without being enslaved by it. And when you apply that to relationships, everything changes. Because you stop being reactive, you stop being desperate, you stop being controlled by outcome. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." Read that again. The pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. Her behavior does not hurt you. Your attachment to a specific outcome hurts you. Your need for her validation hurts you. Your dependence on her response hurts you. But you have the power to revoke that at any moment. You have the power to detach. You have the power to reclaim your peace. And when you do, when you genuinely stop needing her to behave a certain way for you to be okay, you become free. And that freedom is the foundation of attraction, because a free man is magnetic. A man who is not chained to outcome is powerful. A man who can walk away at any moment is rare, and rarity is valuable. So here is what I want you to understand. The behavior that terrifies modern women is not cruelty. It is not coldness. It is not playing games. It is emotional self-sufficiency. It is outcome independence. It is stoic detachment. It terrifies them because it means they cannot control you. It means they cannot manipulate you with attention or the withdrawal of it. It means you are operating from a place of abundance, not scarcity. And deep down, that is exactly what they are looking for. A man who does not need them. A man who chooses them. A man who is so grounded in his purpose that no single person can shake his foundation. But here is the hard truth. Most men will never develop this. Most men will continue chasing. Most men will continue seeking validation. Most men will continue building their emotional world around women who do not respect them. And that is why the men who do develop this stand out. That is why they get the results others dream about. Not because they are better looking, not because they have more money, but because they have something most men lack: inner strength. So how do you build this? How do you become emotionally self-sufficient? How do you develop outcome independence? It starts with your mission. You need something in your life that matters more than any relationship. A goal, a purpose, a vision, something that wakes you up in the morning and keeps you moving forward regardless of who is or is not in your life. When you have that, when you are genuinely focused on building something meaningful, women stop being the center of your world, and ironically that is when they become more attracted to you. Next, practice detachment. The next time she does not text back, pause, observe your urge to double text, observe your anxiety, and then let it go. Do not react, do not chase, redirect your energy towards something productive. The next time she cancels plans, do not get emotional, do not demand an explanation, simply accept it and make other plans. Show her through your behavior that your happiness does not depend on her availability. The next time she tests you, stay calm. Do not defend yourself. Do not get reactive. Simply maintain your frame and continue being the man you are. Over time, these small acts of detachment build inner strength. They rewire your brain. They teach you that you do not need external validation to be okay, and that internal shift is what changes everything. Finally, embrace solitude. Spend time alone. Get comfortable with your own company. Build a life you love, even when no one else is around. Because the moment you are okay being alone, you stop tolerating poor treatment. You stop settling. You stop chasing people who do not value you. And that is when you attract the right people. Because you are no longer operating from desperation. You are operating from strength. This is not easy. It requires discipline. It requires self-awareness. It requires you to unlearn everything you were taught about relationships. But it is worth it. Because once you master this, once you become truly emotionally self-sufficient, you become untouchable. No woman can manipulate you. No rejection can break you. No external event can disturb your peace. You become the kind of man people gravitate toward, the kind of man people respect, the kind of man people want to be around. And ironically, the moment you stop needing that, the moment you stop caring about being wanted, that is when you become most wanted. So here is my challenge to you. For the next 72 hours, practice detachment. Do not initiate contact. Do not seek validation. Do not check her social media. Do not wait for her response. Instead, focus on yourself. Go to the gym. Work on your goals. Spend time with people who value you. Read, learn, build, and observe what happens. Observe your emotions. Observe your urges. Observe how hard it is to not react, and then push through it. Because on the other side of that discomfort is freedom. On the other side of that challenge is strength. On the other side of that practice is the man you are meant to become. And that man, that emotionally self-sufficient, outcome-independent, stoic man, that is the man modern women are both terrified of and magnetically attracted to. Not because he is playing games, but because he is real. Because he is grounded. Because he is free. And freedom is the most attractive quality a man can possess. If this resonated with you, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe to this channel, because we are building a community of men who refuse to settle. Men who refuse to chase, men who choose strength over validation, and drop a comment below. Tell me about a time when detachment changed the dynamic. Tell me about a time when you stopped chasing and she started pursuing. Tell me about your journey toward emotional self-sufficiency. I read every single comment. This is not just about dating. This is about reclaiming your power. This is about becoming the kind of man who is not shaken by external circumstances. This is about mastering yourself so you can master your life. And if you are ready for that, if you are ready to walk this path, then welcome. You are in the right place. This is Stoic Truth, where silence becomes strength,